Hey guys, Chelsea here, and we're going to be doing a 30-minute mini flow beginning on our backs. Go ahead, come on to the back side of your body. You can extend your feet out, you can keep them bent, you can find Supta Baddha Konasana. Just allow your arms to rest heavily beside you, your eyes begin to close so that we can work to follow the breath. As you draw a deep inhale into your nose, you fill your belly, chest, and lungs. And then audible exhale out the mouth, release and empty. Take 2 more inhales as we fill. Exhale, let it go. 1 more deep breath in together. Long cleansing release out. Now you can continue this deep rhythmic breath or begin to fire up your Ujjayi breath, sending inhales into your nose and exhales out your nose. And then on your next inhale, reach your arms up overhead, take your toes to the front of the room. Just find a nice big morning stretch. Wiggle out your fingertips and toes, wrists and ankles. Maybe pedal out your knees and your feet and shrug your shoulders towards your ears. Really lengthen and extend. And then exhale, draw your knees in tightly towards your chest, thighs to belly, knees to sternum. Pressing low back deeply into the mat. You can find a little lateral rock, right to left. Gently massaging your low back. Maybe you pull the knees in a little bit more actively towards the chest around your low back, compressing your hip flexors. If you've got a healthy neck, maybe ball up nice and tight, taking the forehead towards your knees, round. Take a couple rounds of breath here. And then if your head, neck, and shoulders are lifted, go ahead and drop them back down to the ground. Send your legs to tabletop. Knees stack over the hips and ankles in line with your knees. Separate your knees about hip distance apart, pressing your palms into your thighs. Resist your palms with the tops of your legs so you start to feel the engagement of the low belly. Now actively you're pressing your palms into the legs, and at the same time you're trying to draw your knees back towards your chest but resisting with the hands. If you wanted a little bit more here as we awaken the core, you could lift your head, neck, and shoulders here, involving the upper abdominals. Keep pressing, keep engaging. Good. We're going to hold for 3. Maybe you lift the shoulders up a little bit taller, 2. And when release your hands from behind, or release your heads from your thighs, take them behind your head. Inhale, lift your chin up towards the sky. We're going to find little Yogi Bicycles. You send that left elbow towards right knee as you extend the left leg forward. Begin to go side to side here as we move back and forth between your Yogi Bicycles. If this is too much for your neck, place your head down. If you would like more here, you could start to scissor kick the legs by taking straight legs, right to left. If you start to feel discomfort into your low back, just decrease your range of motion with your legs. Maybe they hover a little bit higher away from the ground so that you can keep your low back plugged deeply into the earth. As we go right to left, take deep breaths. Each exhale, we twist and we rotate for 3. Last 2. 1 more each side. We even and out. Hold at the center, legs back to tabletop, lift your chin up, start to engage the transverse abdominals as you draw your elbows back, lifting chin up towards the sky. 3, 2, lower head, neck, and shoulders. Send your hands outside your hips and lower your feet down to the ground. Heels in line with your sits bones. Pressing into all 4 corners of the feet, we find a bridge. Lifting your hips up, pressing your shoulders and upper arm bones into the mat. Refrain from letting your knees splay out to the side. Exhale, we lower down 1 vertebrae at a time. We're going to involve the arms on the next couple rounds here. As you inhale, press into your feet, reach your arms up. Pressing the backs of the hands into the earth, lift your hips up a little bit higher and draw your legs in towards the midline. Exhale, we lower down. We lower hands outside of the hips. 2 more just like that. As we inhale, we lift the hips, we reach the arms up and over. Exhale, lower. Good. Inhale, we take it back up, lifting hips, pressing arms overhead, hold. Lifting hips up, draw legs in towards the center, press the backs of the hands into your earth. Inhale. Exhale, we lower it down. Once your tailbone hits the earth, pull the knees into the chest, give yourself a squeeze. Take a couple little rock and rolls forward and backward. And then we're going to create enough momentum that allows you to roll over your shins, coming into your first downward facing dog. Now, as you arrive in this first downward facing dog, just start to acknowledge how the body is feeling. You could pedal out your feet. You could rise to your tippy toes. Maybe you sink your heels down, and then work to actively press your heart and chest towards your thighs to create a concavity in the upper back. Press actively down through your pointer finger and the thumb. Press chest back, lift tailbone high, reaching heels to the back edge of your mat. Take a couple deep rounds of breath here as you find space, movement, or stillness. Maybe you nod your head no, nod your head yes. And then as you inhale, send that right heel high, 3-legged downward facing dog. Now we're just going to step that right foot right in front of the left pinky toes, and then lift that left foot high. So your 3-legged downward facing dog starts to become more like a standing split as we walk to the top of your mat, working to open up the backs of the legs, coming into a wide-legged forward fold at the top of your mat once you arrive. Your toes land behind your wrists, feet are hip distance apart. Generous bend in your knees as you find a ragdoll pose. Grabbing for your elbows, release your head down. If you want more traction into your neck, send your hands to your low back. Or send your hands to the back of your neck and draw your chin in towards the chest. Maybe bend your knees, maybe you rock side to side. Just start to feel the decompression of the spine. Moving maybe right to left. Coming back to center, fold heavy. And then release your hands to the shins or to the floor as you inhale, lift halfway with straight legs. Exhale, fold it in. Inhale, we root to rise, sweeping arms up towards the sky. Side body stretch, right hand grabs for the left wrist, and we lean it over to the right and gaze to the left. Inhale through center, left hand locates right wrist. We go over to the left and gaze to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Cactus, open your elbows towards your kidneys, opening up the chest, gaze goes high. Sending your hands to your low back body, your hasta. Find a little bend in your knees as you reach your knuckles down towards your heels, spread the heart and chest, and then leading with the heart, hinge from your hips, forward fold. Draping belly over the thighs, reaching crown of the head towards your toes and knuckles to the front of the room. Some of you may wish to find movement, dipping one shoulder towards the knee, going side to side. You can just work on that chest and shoulder opening by dropping your knuckles towards the front of the room a little bit heavier. Coming back to center, release the hands down to shins or to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift, flat spine. Exhale, hands plant, walking your feet back into a high plank pose. If you need to modify, please lower to your knees, supporting your low back a little bit more. And then if you want more here, shift your weight forward and backward. Start to feel the abdominals begin to catch as you find gentle movement, stretching wrists and ankles. Your next inhale, take it forward. Exhale, lower knees, chest, and chin. Slither all the way down onto your belly for a baby Cobra, Bhujangasana. Slide thumbs underneath your shoulders and then squeeze elbows in as you press into your pubic bone and tops of your feet and lift the heart and chest high. Shoulders down away from your ears, slight tuck of the chin towards your chest to keep the spine nice and long. Exhale, we lower it down, pressing into your palms, child's pose on your exhale. Big toes touch, knees wide, drop your belly and heart space between your thighs and lower your head towards your mat. If you want a little stretch of your neck, you can massage your third eye by rocking your head right to left. Work to sink your hips further towards your heels. Looking to the top of your mat, coming through all fours, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. As we find this downward facing dog, we're going to start to move through a couple sun salutation A's. Know that if you need to modify, you can always take that knees, chest, chin option, or skip that vinyasa and go right back into your downward facing dog. As you inhale, rise to your toes, looking forward, and walk, step, or float your feet to the top of your mat. Big toes touch, sliver of light between your heels. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Press into your feet as we root to rise, sweeping arms up towards the sky. Exhale, seal hands in heart center, thumbs at chest space. Inhale, reaching your arms up. Exhale, hinge as you forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands plant, feet travel back, high plank pose. Exhale, lower down chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, find your way back into that downward facing dog for 3 rounds of breath. Reaching tailbone high each inhale, sink those heels deeper with each exhale. Keep guiding the chest to the back of the room. Maybe your gaze goes to the navel or in between your thighs. Inhale, you rise to the toes. Looking forward and walk, step, float your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, sweeping arms up towards the sky. Exhale, seal hands in heart center. Inhale, reaching your arms up. Exhale, hinge as you forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands plant, feet go back. Optional vinyasa, back to your downward facing dog. 3 rounds of breath. Once you reach your downward facing dog, settle in. Got to take 2 more rounds. Inhale, rise to your toes. Looking forward, walk, step, float your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we root to rise, sweeping arms up towards the sky. Exhale, seal hands in heart center. Heavy into your heels, chair pose, bend into your knees, sink deeply here, lifting up all 10 toes away from your mat. Plug your shoulders down into the upper back, drawing your thumbs back to open up the chest. Maybe you can sink 1 inch deeper, stacking knees on top of your ankles. Start to feel the engagement of your low belly as you pull the navel in towards your spine. Send an inhale to your fingertips and exhale, forward fold, release. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands plant, feet go back. Optional vinyasa, back to that downward facing dog. From your down dog, send that right leg high. Exhale, right knee to your nose. Shoulders come over your wrists as you hollow out your belly, drawing your knee towards your sternum. Step right foot between your hands, warrior A, Virabhadrasana 1. Rotate left foot down 45 degrees and inhale, rise up. Big bend into that right knee. You square your shoulders and hips off to the front of the room. Really plug your shoulders down into the upper back and then see if you can scoop that pubic bone forward while pressing into the outer edge of that left foot. Inhale. Exhale, we open up warrior B. If you need to widen your stance here, you can. Keep stacking right knee on top of right ankle, reaching through your fingertips. Lower shoulders down away from the ears. Maybe you bend a little bit deeper into that right knee. Feel some more depth into your inner thighs. Starfish pose, 2 straight legs, arms reach up, all 10 toes towards the left edge of your mat. And as we exhale, we bend into that left knee. We come into a warrior B, left side towards the back of your mat. Same thing, lower shoulders down, reaching through your fingertips. Flip the left palm, and as you exhale, reverse. Right hand down, left arm high. And as we exhale, we windmill the hands down, runners twist the back of your mat. Right hand plants inside the left foot, left arm goes high. As we open and rotate towards the left side of the room, we're gonna come into your side plank. You can always drop that right knee down or step that left foot back on top of the right. If you want more, hover left foot away from the right, really lifting up through that left hip and left side body. Reaching, 2. Dropping left hand down, optional Ardha Vinyasa, or go right back into your downward facing dog. Inhale, float your left leg high. Exhale, left knee to your nose, shoulders over your wrists, pulling navel to spine. Warrior A, as you step that left foot between your hands, pivot back, right foot down 45 degrees. Inhale, you rise. Square it off towards the back of the room, pulling that right hip forward. Lower shoulders down. Take an inhale. Exhale, we open up Warrior B. Widen your stance if you need to. Soften shoulders from your ears and reach. Find a little bit more depth by creating a deeper bend into that left knee and externally rotating that left thigh away from the midline of the body. Straighten out that left leg, Starfish Pose, reaching up all 10 toes towards the long edge of your mat. Warrior B back to the front. So you're in that Warrior B right side. Flip your right palm, exhale, reverse. Left hand down, right arm to the high. Windmill it down into that runner's twist. Left hand plants inside that right foot. You rotate to the ball of the left foot and reach the right arm high. Stacking that right shoulder on top of the left. We go into your side plank. Step right foot back on top of the left or lower left knee down. You've got the options of hovering that right leg, whatever you choose here for 3, for 2. Lower that right hand down, optional Ardha Vinyasa, or back to your downward facing dog. Take 2 rounds of breath here. Inhale, rise to your toes. Look forward and walk. Step, float your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend into your knees, chair pose, heavy in those heels once again. This time we're gonna sweep the arms back. Squeeze your triceps together, open up the chest and pop to the balls of your feet. Keep squeezing ankle bones together. Lower hips towards your heels. If you want more, you could take a couple little pulses here. If you still wanted more, you could reach your biceps by your ears. As we lift and lower, controlled motion, squeezing ankle bones, 2. And 1, sink at that lowest point. Drop your heels, lift your arms, open up the chest, little baby back bend here at the top. Exhale, hinge and forward fold, release. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down, feet go back. Optional vinyasa, back to your downward facing dog. From your down dog, float that right heel high. Exhale, knee to nose, hold. Step right foot down. We're gonna open up Warrior B this time. Drop left heel down. Open up, windmill open. Big bend in that right knee, reaching through your fingertips. Flip right palm, exhale, reverse. Reverse Trikonasana, straighten out that right leg. See if you can slide that left hand down a little bit further. If you want to challenge, float it up using your right side body. Reaching back and open gaze up towards the sky. Keep that right leg straight as we come back through center. Triangle pose, hinge from that right hip. If you need to bump that left foot in, you can. Right hand reaches forward. Right hand goes down, left arm high. Stacking hips and shoulders. If you want that challenge, float the right arm forward. And then lift up through your left fingertips, squeezing inner thighs together. We're gonna move into our balancing position, our Ardha Chandrasana, your half moon. Gaze in front of your right toes. We're gonna take that right hand torso length out in front of you. Flexing your back left foot, you come into that half moon by stacking hips and stacking shoulders. Similar to how we did in that side plank, you wanna lift up through your left fingertips, almost weightless into your right fingertips. Opening up here, 3, 2, Bend into that right knee. We gently land the left foot down. Rise up on your inhale, we reverse. Exhale, windmill your hands down. Frame your right foot. Right foot steps back to meet the left. You can take that Ardha Vinyasa or go right back into your downward facing dog. Inhale that left leg high. Exhale, left knee to your nose. Hold. Step left foot between your hands, warrior B. Drop right heel down, open up as you windmill open. Find your wide stance, your deep bend in the left knee, flipping left palm, we reverse. Right hand down, left arm reaches back. Begin to straighten out that left leg. Find reverse Trikonasana. If you want more, hover that back right hand, reaching it to the back of the room. Keep lifting out that left side body. Keeping left leg straight, we come up through center. Triangle pose. Begin to hinge from that left hip, reaching left hand forward. Eventually left hand comes down. Just avoid the knee. Maybe it arrives at your thigh, your shin, your ankle, or the ground. Shoulder stacks on top of the left. Reaching right fingertips high. Imagine there's a wall behind you and you're trying to connect the entire backside of your body up against it. We're going to move into our balancing position. Gaze in front of your left toes. Little bend into that left knee. Left hand travels torso length out in front of you as you flex the back right foot and lift. Stack hips, stack shoulders. If you want to challenge your balance, lift left hand or take your gaze up to your right fingertips. Maybe you've got your Chapasana, your full moon, bending that back left leg, right leg. 3, 2. Slow and steady, bend that left knee, land your right foot down. We reverse it out on your inhale. Exhale, send your hands down, frame the left foot. Left foot goes back to meet the right. Ardha Vinyasa, back to that downward facing dog. From your down dog, send that right heel high. Exhale, knee to nose. Step right foot between your hands, lower left knee down, Salamba Anjane. Sweeping your arms high, feel that left hip flexor opening up your chest. Get out of your low back by lifting up through your fingertips. Take an inhale. Exhale, send your hands down to frame the right foot. Half split, send your hips back, straighten out that right leg. Flexing right toes to the crown of the head, pull left hip forward. Couple options here. You can begin to hinge from your hips, working deeper into the back of that right leg. Some of you may have a full split. You could reach that right heel forward. If you want to get a little bit into your IT bands, walk your hands outside that right ankle and towards the top right corner of the room. Lower head down between the gate of the biceps. Wherever you are, breathe into the back side of that right leg. You're going to reframe that right foot. Bend into the right knee. We're going to come into a little half pigeon pose. Heel toe that right foot over to the left side of the mat. Dropping right knee behind the right wrist. Take that left leg back. Inhale, lift the chest. Now we're not going to be here long because this is a condensed practice. So you could start to come into a sleeping swan by walking your hands forward. If you wanted a quad stretch, you could bend that back left leg. You can always find mermaid or king pigeon. Ensuring that that left hip is coming down, that left knee is in line with the hip. Hold for a count of 3. If you've got that back leg or you're folded forward, begin to release. Taking your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your left toes. We send that right leg high. Fan open your hips here, dropping right heel to left glute. You can draw big circles. You can flip it over, coming into wild thing, maybe a little back bend. And then when you're ready, step that right foot back alongside the left, back into your downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg goes high. Exhale, left knee to your nose, stepping left foot between your hands. Drop right knee down, Salamba Anjane, sweeping arms high. Feel that right hip flexor and lift up and out of your low back. Reaching tall through your fingertips, your exhale, send your hands down, frame that left foot and straighten out the left leg. Square off your hips to the front of the room as you flex your left toes back. Option to fold, option to move into that full split or that IT band stretch, walking your hands outside of that left ankle and towards the top left corner of the room. That's going to navigate that right hip forward, finding a deeper compression through the inner thighs. You lower your head down, start to feel the outer edge of that left leg. Walking your hands back, frame that left foot, bend the left knee, half pigeon pose. Heel toe, left foot over to the right side of your mat as you land left knee behind the left wrist. Coming into your half pigeon, again, not staying here long. If you took that sleeping swan, begin to walk your hands forward, draping belly over that left leg. If you took that mermaid or that quad stretch, you're gonna bend that back right leg, and then find the heel towards your glute. Maybe you lift that left hand up. Options here, where you need to take it. Release the back right foot or walk your hands back up underneath your shoulders, tucking right toe underneath. We take that left heel high, opening up left heel towards your right glute. You can draw big circles, you can flip it over, wild thing, flip dog. When you're ready, step that left foot down to meet the right. Look forward, rise to your tippy toes, and you're gonna come onto your hips. If you wanna hop through, you can. Sending your feet out in front of you, straight legs. Inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, forward fold, Paschimottanasana, belly to thighs, hands to feet. Shoulders down away from your ears. Take a deep breath into your low back, the backs of your legs. And then start to walk your hands towards your hips, lowering down as slow as you can manage. Come onto your back, reach your arms overhead, stretching long and tall. Exhale, pull your knees towards your chest. And then you're gonna lower your feet down, heels in line with your sits bones. Now we're gonna come into one more final bridge. If you've got a full wheel in your practice, feel free to take your hands outside your ear. If you want just that standard bridge, press into your feet, lift your hips up towards the sky. Maybe bind your hands behind you, finding some more depth. Drawing inner thighs together. Deep breath into the front side of the body. Release and lower down nice and slow. We're gonna drop your knees over to the right, and if you want more, take that right ankle on top of the left thigh, using it as a method of traction to take your knees over to the right a little bit further, plug that left shoulder down and gaze over the left pinky finger. Gaze up, knees come back to center. You lower your knees now over to the left. Left ankle on top of the right thigh, same thing here. Gaze can go over that right shoulder as you plug it down deeply towards your mat. Take it back to center, knees in, happy baby. Grabbing inner outer edges of your feet, knees towards your underarms. You could find a little gentle movement side to side. And then since we're doing a very short and compressed Shavasana, I would like you to take a Supta Baddha Konasana shape. So when you're ready, invite the soles of the feet to touch, knife edges of your feet meet the top of your mat, knees splay out to the side, and arms just rest beside you. If this is too uncomfortable to rest into, just extend your feet forward, eyes begin to close. We're going to take 5 deep rounds of breath here. Feel free to keep your eyes closed. Draw your knees together, roll to one side, coming into a fetal position. And then coming up to a seated pose when you're ready. Crossing at your ankles, sitting up nice and tall. Sending your arms beside you, palms up. We begin to gather up all that energy, sweeping your arms up towards the sky. Palms come to touch. Exhale, draw your thumbs to your heart space, sealing it in. And then bowing here together, we say Namaste.